Here's the rendered image. I think I will make it a bit cooler by decreasing the white balance value. Let's desaturate the whole image. Maybe I will make it a bit warmer. Then let's add the filming layer and increase the rich shadows option. Lastly, I will turn on the bloom and glare effect. The effect is too strong, so I will lower the value. Great, I like that. Let's save the images. I will create a lower contrast version of the image. Turn off the filming layer and decrease the contrast. Save this image. Open the images in Photoshop. Here I have the original image at the bottom, and on the top, the lower contrast version. I will add a black mask to the lower contrast version, and with a white brush, I will paint over some areas where I want to have lower contrast. Great, I like that. Let's add the render elements. Here they are. Place them in your Photoshop. I will start with translucency. If we switch the mode to screen, you can see that the translucency effect is way stronger. For me, it's too strong. I will add the black mask to it and just paint over some areas. Additionally, I will decrease the opacity to make the effect more subtle. Let's do the same with volumetrics. Great. Next, I will select the alpha channel. Then duplicate the main render and add a mask to the top layer. This way, we will have the image without the sky on top, and on the bottom, the original render. Now we can add the levels in between these images to control only the sky. I will make it a bit darker. Next, let's add the vignetting using the same method as in the interior shots. Additionally, I will select the edges again and make them darker and less contrasty using the brightness and contrast adjustment. I will also make the image a bit darker using levels. Then, using the gradient as a mask, I will add the effect only to the bottom part of the image. Let's adjust the gradient. I will make some adjustments to the levels. I will select the edges again and desaturate it a bit. Group all these adjustments together. Here is a before and after. I think that effect is overall too strong, so let's decrease the opacity a bit. Now it looks better. I will add contrast to the whole image using an S-shaped curve. I will take this mask and add it to the curves. This way, we won't be affecting the sky. I will add a selective color and adjust the greens a bit. I will also adjust the yellows. This will mostly affect our planting. Great! Next, I will add a LUT from my library. I'm using lens distortion LUTs. I will put the link to them below the video. This step is not mandatory. You can skip this process if you don't have any LUTs. I am showing this method because I use it quite often as it speeds up the process. The effect is too strong, so I decrease the opacity. I will turn off the curves for now. I will add another LUT. Again, the effect is way too strong. I move it down. Let's turn the first LUT off for now, so it's easier to set it up. I will make it very subtle. Let's see how it works with second LUT. I will adjust the opacity again. Let's turn on the curves back. I will adjust it a little bit. I'm happy with that. Add a hue and saturation layer and adjust the yellows only. I will make them more saturated. Great! Next, let's add a little bit of depth to the image. I will turn on the Z-depth layer. As I told you before, we can adjust it a little bit using levels. I will make the background darker, so we have more depth in the image. Let's go to the Channels tab and click with Ctrl on the RGB level to make your selection. The white parts will be selected, while the black parts won't be selected. Everything in between will be with some degree of transparency. Next, let's add a color. I will pick some color from the sky. Let's invert the selection. Now you can see how it works. I like this effect, but now the sky is not visible at all. To fix this, let's select this mask. Invert the selection, so we have sky selected. And using the Ctrl+ backscape shortcut, add the black color to the mask. This way, we remove the sky from the layer. I will decrease the opacity to make the effect more subtle. Select it again and add a bit of contrast to the foreground. Then I will duplicate this layer, invert the mask, and remove the contrast from the background. Here's the before and after. Actually, let's delete the contrast from the foreground as I think it's too much. Here's the before and after of this effect. It is very subtle, but we have more separation between foreground and background. Lastly, let's add some fixes using AI. Before that, let's group the layers so we have a cleaner file. I will turn off the adjustment and zoom in on the man sitting inside. Let's select the hair. The downside of using 3D people often is their hair. Don't worry, we can quickly improve it with AI. I don't like any of these options, so I regenerate it. I will generate it again. I will go with this option. From a distance, it looks more natural. Also, let's remove that tattoo using the Remove tool. Let's try again. Great! Let's turn the adjustments back. Here's the progress. Great job!